So it seems that the TI, Officer Tip, 007, badge number 1020, what I'm saying, Tip, and Iggy Azalea, his so-called former artist, they are beefing on Twitter, all because of what T.I. said in the interview. Well, let's go ahead and break this news, people. Start spreading the news.
Beans, greens, potatoes, tomatoes, chicken, turkeys, rat. Beans, greens, potatoes, tomatoes.
People, before I get into this news report, I would like to let you know that we got the baddest, the most dangerous podcast in the land. I mean, the most baddest, the most dangerous. We can say everything that we want to say that we cannot say on YouTube. We can say it on our podcast, uncut. Expose these satanic scumbags. Go on over there and support that podcast. Go on over there and subscribe to that podcast. Every Friday night at 9 p.m. we go live with that podcast. www.illuminatiexposedmedia.com. That's www.illuminatiexposedmedia.com. Make sure you hit that. The link is also in the description of this video. Also, I go live on my Facebook fan page, www.gospeltalktv.com. That's www.gospeltalktv.com on my Facebook fan page. The link is in the description area of this video. Alright, let me tell you something. T.I., we all know what this is all about. You know what I'm saying? We all know why T.I. is doing interviews. We all know why T.I. is getting reckless at his mouth. We all know this. It's the same reason why he went reckless at his mouth against Kodak Black. T.I. wants some attention because T.I. got a podcast. You know what I'm saying? T.I. just entered the podcast game. And you know what I'm saying? So he got to drum up some unnecessary attention for his podcast. He got to draw attention to his podcast. So let me tell you something, people. T.I. sat down and did an interview with, I forgot what magazine or what platform he did an interview with, but he did an interview, and they asked him, what was it to Iggy Azalea, you know what I'm saying, his former artist, you know what I'm saying, what happened to her career? Well, T.I. knew this was going to get traction. T.I. knew that, you know what I'm saying, people was going to start talking when he said this. He said Iggy Azalea was a tarnish on his legacy. That's what he said. Now, I want to know, T.I., do you know what's a tarnish on your legacy? You sacrificing your 66-year-old sister onto Lucifer. That is what is a tarnish on your legacy. You know what I'm saying? You killing your 66-year-old sister. That's a tarnish. You know what I'm saying? You know what else is a tarnish on your legacy? You doing commercials for Crime Stoppers. Now, let me tell you something, you know what I'm saying? Don't get me wrong, you know what I'm saying? I think snitching is good. But if you portray yourself to be a gangster, and you portray yourself to be the hustle man, you know what I'm saying? And you portray yourself to be street, and then you go and do a Crime Stopper commercial, well, I got something to say about that. 1-800 Crime Stoppers. That's T.I. He do Crime Stoppers commercials. That is what is a tarnish on your legacy. You don't want to know another tarnish that's on your legacy? You getting caught with a whole arsenal of assault rifles, and you are free to talk about it. That's what is a tarnish on your legacy. Because we know that if anybody else got caught with all them assault rifles, they will be put under the jail. We know if anybody else did any other so-called gangster out there did a Crime Stopper commercial, they will be ridiculed and they won't have the recognition that you still have. See what I'm saying, people? So before you talk about, you know what I'm saying, somebody tarnishing your legacy, Mr. Tip, you need to look at yourself and see all the things that you have done that tarnish your own legacy. You ain't never had a legacy to even tarnish, Mr. Tip. But you know what I'm saying. I don't know why I'm feeding into what it is. You the reason why you said this. Well, I'm not feeding into it. I'm just, you know what I'm saying, letting the people know what you got up your sleeve. You know what I'm saying? Because let me tell you something. Number one, you didn't sign Iggy Azalea. See, let me tell you something. These people who own these labels, you got T.I., he owns Grand Hustle. You got Birdman, he owns Cash Money. You got Master P, he owns No Limit. You know what I'm saying? Bad Boy, which is P. Diddy. You know what I'm saying? You got all these little, I'm going to call them mini labels, because they're not labels at all. I'm going to call them mini labels. You know what I'm saying? These mini labels are like the gateway to get you in through the elites, to get you in through, to pass your soul through the fire of the Mola. These are the gateways. Your T.I., his label, Grand Hustle, that's a gateway to get you in. You know what I'm saying? The same way you got Birdman and Cash Money, that's a gateway to get you in. See, the main portal is your Universal. The main portal is your Koch Records, that's another main portal. You know what I'm saying? Your main portals is, you know what I'm saying, Jimmy IV, Interscope. You know what I'm saying? Those are your main portals. But you cannot just go straight to the main portal. You got to go into a gatekeeper. T.I. is a gatekeeper, which owns Grand Hustle. That's just to see, you know what I'm saying, are you cut out? When you assign to somebody like Grand Hustle, you know what I'm saying, it's not all about selling records. When you sign to Grand Hustle, it's not all about making music. When you sign to Grand Hustle, you best believe the elites have told T.I. to sign Iggy Azalea. You know what I'm saying? To put her through the trial. You know what I'm saying? To put her through to see if she got what it takes. You know what I'm saying? Because you got to go through a probation period. These are gateway probation periods. See, you got to be brought in by somebody. No matter how much T.I. is talking mess about Iggy Azalea, he still handles Iggy Azalea. He still is Iggy Azalea's handler. Yes, I know T.I. got a handler, but T.I. handles people also. You know what I'm saying? So, you know what I'm saying, before T.I. come out and speak against his subordinate, come out and speak against his assignment, that's your assignment. Because at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying, you are still responsible for her. Because you the one that brought her in. At the end of the day. So what are you saying, T.I.? Yeah, see, a lot of people don't like that. You know what I'm saying? Don't like the way I spit this truth. Because at the end of the day, right now, T.I. is just using, you know what I'm saying, an artificial beef, or starting an artificial beef to prompt up his podcast. That's all this is all about. What's his podcast called? Expeditiously? Whatever he called it, you know what I'm saying? That's all this is. This is an artificial beef that T.I. done started to prompt up his podcast. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, this is news. You know what I'm saying? The T.I. and Iggy Azalea beef. Oh yeah, I forgot. Let me go ahead and use you, T.I., to promote my podcast. We got the most dangerous podcast in the land. The reason why I say it's dangerous, because what we expose on our podcast episodes, we cannot tell you on these YouTube videos, because YouTube's algorithms and YouTube will censor us until we are not on YouTube no more. But they can't do that on our podcast. We go live every Friday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on that podcast. Go over there, support that podcast. Go over there, subscribe to that podcast. www.illuminati ExposedMedia.com. That's IlluminatiExposedMedia.com. The link is also in the description area of this show. Also, I go live on my Facebook fan page. You can check that out at www.gospeltalktv.com. Both links will be in the description area of this show. Till next time, stay tuned. God bless you.
Beans, greens, potatoes, tomatoes, chicken, turkeys, rat. You name it. Beans, greens, potatoes.